What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. And today is the day that you need a glance LED. Let me just tell you, I did not think they were going to get this game in today. It rained all day in Baltimore. This was a 1 o'clock start that got pushed back almost to 6 o'clock. And that's when you need the glance the most. You've got other MLB games starting, you've got NBA games, NHL games, and I got to be kept up to date with everything while I watched the game live. And as an Orioles fan, this was a very, very tense game. So, first of all, Reagans came out and pitched very, very well against Corbin Burns. He basically put 6 up, 6 down. Matteo got the start in center field over Cedric Mullins on a rest day. And, aside from some simple fielding issues in the beginning, he played extremely well. However, the Orioles as a whole really didn't play all that well. By the top of the fourth, 11 straight Royals had put the ball in play. And it's not that Corbin Burns wasn't pitching well, he was. It was that the Royals were playing the best way to beat good pitching, which is get the ball in the field. They stole 3 bases to put players in position to score, and they still could only muster 2 runs. The Orioles finally get a hit. Adley Rutschman doubles in the fourth. Obviously, Orioles couldn't capitalize, and it would be the lone hit for quite a while. As I talked about with Matteo, he really did look good and at home in center. And I expect he's probably going to take kind of the utility role that Ryan McCann had for so long with this team, where he can go and play the outfield, he can pinch run. Obviously, you don't really want to have him hit as much, but he can also kind of move around the infield a little bit. If something happens with Ramon Urias, I think have Matteo kind of cementing himself as the guy that can play second, decent, can play shortstop when Gunnar needs a rest, and maybe even over to third. Obviously, seeing the versatility in the outfield is never a bad thing as well. Now, in the 7th is kind of things started to roll for the Orioles. Adley and Mountcastle both threw a walk. Reagan's pitch count was getting into the 90s. Santander comes up, strikes out. You go into the 8th, you kind of have the rally again, where Adley just tried to stretch out a double and couldn't do it. And by the way, perfect throw. And for what it's worth, I haven't mentioned it, but you went to this game or you watched this game on TV, you get to see 2 of the premier infielders, young players as well, in Henderson and Witt, kind of go head to head. And even though Witt really didn't put a lot of balls in play, didn't really have a lot of power, he still showed he is an incredible fielder and a great talent. So we get Cano in. Cano kind of shuts the door on them extending the lead. And then in the 9th, it gets really, really fun if you're an Orioles fan. Westberg lays down a bunt. So, of course, we needed him a couple games ago to hit the walk-off homer. Now we need kind of the exact opposite. He lays down a perfect bunt that put runners at second and third. And then Austin Hayes, who I've constantly clamored is probably in a position to lose his job, comes out. He gets walked to load the bases. Prior to this, he had struck out when he had a prime opportunity to score runs, and it was a bad look for Austin Hayes. He watches the first ball go straight down the pike. He then tries to check a swing and can't, and then he swings at a pitch that was nowhere near the plate. So his redemption could have been a hit, but instead he gets the intentional walk as they try to set up a double play. Cowser comes in, could kind of cement himself taking over that role. He strikes out, and then the game, of course, who else would you want but a catcher coming up to the plate? But it's not the catcher you expect in Adley. It was James McCann, who has been really just a key piece of leadership on this team. The first pitch with the bases loaded nearly hit him, which would have been really fun to see a tie game with a walk. It's happened before. The second pitch was a little bit further out, and props to the manager. Always knowing, always using his full bench. That's the one thing with Brandon Hyde. He always kind of empties the reserves, if you will. He had Mullins, who again didn't start, pinch running at second, and it allows James McCann to put a double into play, and Mullins was on his horse, ran from second home. The throw wasn't even close, and that is how they end the game with a walk-off double on a Cedric Mullins hustle to win a game. Honestly, I don't want to say they had no business of winning, but they were never really in a position to cement the win until the game was just about over. And for the Royals, it was. So a really fun game, an enjoyable game, an exciting game, and one of those games that I think really kind of builds the team up to where they say, hey, listen, no matter how things go, no matter how bad things look, we can always battle back. We can always kind of fight through adversity. And the Royals aren't a bad team. They're a very good team. But the Orioles edge this one out, get the win. I couldn't be more happy watching it, even if it took quite a bit of time to get the game in. And I do just want to point out one of the things the Orioles started last year during rain delays is if you go before a rain delay and you're there and you wait and you leave, they will give you a complimentary ticket when you leave. And that is a complimentary ticket, from what I understand, valid just about any seat in the house, any game. Now, they don't want you to just show up at 6:30, 7 o'clock once the game started. You have to commit that you're going to the game. But that's a really, really fan-friendly policy they have, and I really do appreciate them doing that for the fans that go out there and stick through the unfun rain delays we've all been a part of. But in this case, you definitely get a memory and a win when you leave the ballpark. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you guys watching it. I will be back soon as I can with more commentary.